everyone. Welcome to BGB's podcast.
Are you going to make the music quieter? Or?
Yeah, I should probably do that first, huh? Is this dramatic enough?
Well, now it feels like I'm like passing away a little bit. So like a little faster.
Feels a little faster?
No, it would. I would have.
There we go. How about that? Welcome to VGB's podcast, episode 11. I'm one of your hosts, John Warren. With me is my favorite forever co-host, Nikki Grayson. Hi, Nikki.
Hey, what's up, John?
How's it going?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm really good. Today we have a special guest. We're going to bring him to the stage right now. Right now. It's Alex Van Aken.
Wow.
Hello.
Wow.
What's up?
How are you?
Dude, never better. Life's
Never
great.
better.
No
Where
issues, really.
Where are you? Because Nikki and I can speak. We can.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
All right, let me just make a banner real quick for our video people.
Yeah. Just put.
Thanks to Alex for calling in from the literal hell.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
then there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, no. So Nikki and I, obviously, we've been through not quite this experience. It was kind of a different experience, but like I feel like we both went through like a process, right? You know, so when Fanbyte went under, there was definitely like I think that most of that day actually was almost as kind of euphoric. Like I'm in the fucking vibe zone. I was drinking beer in my backyard, like at 11 a.m. I was just kind of like, whatever the fuck, man. Like, it's cool. It's fine. And then I went into like, deep despair land for a little while. And then I went into like, I'm going to burn the world down. And then like kind of back into like, so there's a lot I personally feel like I went through during that period.
Okay, but you think that's unique and you're not just describing the 7 stages of grief?
No. I understand that. I'm just saying, I'm illustrating what mine looks like. And I'm curious about Alex because we're what, less than a full week from the official?
Yeah. 4 business days, right?
4 business days since GameStop
like
decided to unceremoniously close Game Informer and also close off its archives from the public, which is fucked up.
It's tragic, really. I'm obviously very heartbroken to lose my own job.
Sure.
But I think it's actually sadder. I would be less sad if Game Informer still existed and it still kept going,
Right.
And it's just an institution that's just gone overnight, essentially. I mean, like the YouTube channel's still up there for now. I know there's been a big archival project going on at MinMax. It was a shock. I think things were going pretty good for us this year. And so it kind of came out of nowhere, really. But yeah,
I guess that was maybe I think most people ask me this question and I didn't really know how to respond. The truth is actually very complicated, but they asked me like, did you see this coming? And my answer was always like fairly complicated. Y'all had just, quote unquote, I mean, in the history of the entire publication, it was a very recent event of having the standalone relaunch essentially of the magazine. I've got 3-4 issues since y'all did that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There should be another one hitting your mailbox here in the coming days.
Hell yeah. That's going to be really bittersweet and strange.
Yeah.
But I will hold on to that and cherish it. So that was relatively recent. It seemed like it was a good thing. I don't know about the X's and O's of like the margins and ultimately some of that shit doesn't matter, but I'm curious about kind of the energy around the team kind of in that period before the closure.
Yeah, obviously I can't get into specifics for legal reasons.
Sure.
But it was doing very well. We were all very happy internally. There was a lot of excitement about it. There was a lot of upward momentum. And I mean, every new cover story just continued to grow and grow. And we also had like we still had our digital readership from like the GameStop Power Up Rewards memberships that was still tied into them.
Yeah.
So once we launched our own kind of quote independent, like, they're still our parent company, but we were more directly in control of the physical print magazine. We were kind of servicing both our own core base and GameStop's. And just things were going really well. And I have posited on a couple of podcasts this week, pure speculation. I think like just looking at like why would they make this decision? The PRs, it's a really bad PR move. It's a beloved brand,
Yeah.
There are perks there are a lot of other perks as well to having Game Informer around for them as a company. I think it just comes down to they've probably gotten to the point, it's been public, all of the layoffs throughout the years. I think they've maybe gotten to the point where, okay, well, if we cut somebody over here, things for our retail business are gonna break. And so we have to cut this beloved magazine and keep it on the chin. That's just me speculating. I have no internal knowledge.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't understand, and I think this is I don't do business. Because if I did, I would be bad at it, because I think you need to be fundamentally broken to do business here.
To some extent, I think that's true. Yeah.
Yes. But like, I think that the thing I don't get, wouldn't it have been easier to get some money instead of no money?
No.
By selling it?
I mean,
to somebody else?
I easier in the sense of like you would have to do some pretty extensive work to make that sale go through, and I think actually less work to just close it, to be honest. I don't know.
Annoying.
I think there are other decisions where like closing down the website that don't make sense to me, because like, you could still be getting passive revenue from all of those old articles.
Yeah, like you put ads next to that stuff. You could, if anything, you could put more ads next to this stuff.
Yeah, because like you don't really have like a reputation to everyone. Just chock that thing full of ads.
Yeah, that aspect of it I don't understand for sure.
Yeah. And I wonder if maybe they're like planning to bring it back in that way and like pruning it. I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the big question, and you can go to, well, first of all, Ben Hansen over at MinMax has just been doing a great job of just like archiving a bunch of stuff, but also having great conversations with y'all and former Game Informer people. So go check out MinMax. I've been a happy sub for a few months now. I was late to that game, but it's a really great thing. And he filmed this video that like we watched the other morning on a stream of you giving the tour of the new offices.
Yeah.
And there's something, and that was back in March, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something so unbelievably, of course, like I have I'm a sick person. My head is really is sick, but something very funny about just the way y'all are talking about like what's going to happen to all this stuff back in March.
Yeah.
And all of us in chat and I are just sitting here like, yeah.
Well, we filmed that was right after Blake got laid off, and there are other things happening that I can't talk about. That it was like Ben had been asking me like for a tour, and I was like, all right, well, if we're gonna do it, like we kind of have to do it now, I think. So that's why, and I was like, you can't publish this while I work here. Like I don't know if I would get in trouble, but like it just like I was like, just purely for like archival purposes.
Yeah.
And obviously once the thing went down, I was like, you could probably post it.
Yeah, it's probably safe now.
It's probably safe. But that's a great tour. There's like a 50-minute version up on the Patreon, so if you want to go do that, you should definitely go do that. I think what's clear about Game Informer that I think is so fascinating is that everybody who has worked for it and was working for it up until its closure, everyone kind of knows that the publication was at this very bizarre intersection of a retailer needing to basically keep mostly I think a happy face for its brands that are like, coming to it and doing all this stuff. That's me putting words in that mouth. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it's not like y'all are going to be publishing an expose on your cover of something, most likely.
Most likely.
But like even though I think that tension is obvious to everyone, I think the other thing that is really obvious to everyone and that stands out is like everyone involved is deeply in love with the history and the making of video games.
Mhm.
And I think like your tour of that space and everyone kind of talking about it, Dan Reichert was on that tour as well.
Who?
I think there's just like there's such an unbelievable amount of institutional knowledge and love that went into that publication over its 33 years.
Yeah.
And that really comes out. Maybe speak to what it was like to work with people that, you know, that was very clearly the case.
Yeah, well, kind of on your you mentioned like you know, we didn't necessarily like do many exposés, and that is true. I do think
And that's not a detract.
Oh,
I don't
no,
think that's
definitely.
a bad thing.
I think
You
it was
know,
definitely like an internal
it's
vision.
just
They always wanted it to be positive.
Sure. Yeah.
There were some times where like things I can think of a couple instances where like we saw some bad things, not bad things, but it was like, is this print worthy?
Right.
And
Yeah.
what we did instead was we went to the studio. Me and Wesley were on a trip where there's some inappropriate things said by a guy, and we were up all night talking with Miller. It was like 2 a.m. where we were like, do we run this in print? Like, we only have a certain amount of pages.
Right.
And we ultimately went to the studio and we're like, you have to put on an entire training for your entire company and talk about the comments that were said in this setting. And you need to like show us and commit that you're going to do this to better. And they did it. And like, that was something that was like, you know, a really interesting experience. And then there are other times like I can think of like I co-wrote the Armored Core story with Blake, and that was not a very positive cover story.
Sure.
I think the first word in that cover story is underwhelming, because the demo that they gave us, it's funny. I think I got the best demo for Redfall, and I got the worst demo for Armored Core. Because my previews are just so off for both of those. But
Redfall's gonna be it.
Yeah,
it's the next big thing.
Pre-order. Yeah, you got to get in on this.
It's gonna save Arcane.
Yeah. That's really funny though, and you know, even our latest issue that people should get on their doorstep soon. You know, it's on the casting of Frank Stone. It's a single player Dead by Daylight game.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And we kind of held their feet to the fire with like the layoffs that have happened this year, and the most recent cut in June, and they you know, we've got all that in print and stuff. But it was always an interesting balance with Game Informer, because I mean it was access journalism. You know, like people came to us with stories because I think, not necessarily because we talk about it positively, but we talk about it fairly at least. And of course they were always like, for the most part, very buttoned up in terms of like, we're going to show you our best selves. And in the cases that wasn't the case, and we take it to our editor in chief and really talk through it and come up with solutions about whether we're going to run it, or if there's, you know, I mentioned that other scenario that we felt like that was the right thing to do. So it's just been, it was an interesting balance, and I think we did it well for the most part. You know, it's the magazine the publication was around for 33 years. Definitely some warts in there, right? And I think Game Informer definitely evolved with the times. There's definitely some of those old, like going back and reading some of those old magazines where it's like, yikes.
Well, I mean, read a games magazine from the mid.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I mean, it was just that.
It was
of course.
It was the fucking Wild West.
Of course. I mean, it is fascinating though to have those references in print to go back to.
Even just advertising in print back then. Was crazy. Just like weird, overtly sexual. Very strange, like odd innuendo stuff. And so that's definitely really interesting. I think something I'm really I was consistently impressed by with kind of the late era Game
Mhm.
Informers was y'all would get cover stories that were legitimately surprising and fresh, which to me, I think print magazine fresh are completely diametrically opposed in the 2020s,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Like you would not expect something to hit your eyeballs first from a print publication. I have to imagine some of that is access and you know the ability to kind of get that stuff early, but like what is that like being able to kind of break something while still kind of having this print footprint?
Yeah, it was you know, we definitely had a focus especially in recent years of making sure the magazine was evergreen. We even though the paper quality was, can I cuss on here?
Yes.
The paper
Yeah.
quality was shit, but we were like, we want the quality to be coffee table worthy, right? Something
Yeah.
that you can keep out, you can open it up and you know, read really interesting developer profiles and interviews, and of course the cover stories. Sorry, what was the question? I'm exhausted.
No, it was basically just like what is it like to essentially still be able to break something with a print publication?
It was cool. I mean, there's a lot of things that there were a couple other games that we were going to break that fell through, you know, and we had to get like a last minute replacement for the cover story because in the most recent case, it was a game that they hadn't secured a publisher yet. When we started talking to them, and we were going to break it. It was like a follow up to a pretty prominent indie
You
studio.
can just say it was Halo 2.
It was Halo 2. Yeah, they were, you know,
a second Halo.
Yeah, Halo 2 2. That's gonna be part 2 HD. And
Finally.
you know, we got through, you know, we 2 months of planning on going on this cover story trip, and I think it was 2 weeks before we were supposed to fly out there, they got a publisher, and the publisher was like, we want to be the ones to reveal this, not. And so that fell through, and I think that was the issue that we got. Our replacement, I think, was Sea of Stars, maybe.
That's, you know, yeah.
Actually, Sea of Stars might have been a bigger game that fell through, and we reached out to them. We're like, we really want to talk to you about this game, and that cover is one of my favorites. So we were like, okay, we're going to do the indie issue. It's going to be all about indie games coming out, retrospectives, all of that, and that's one of my favorite issues. I love that issue, and that came from a place of like, oh shit, we have to figure something out, and I think that was some of our best work. Actually, I think that story ended up being a lot more compelling than the other one that was on the table. But yeah, it was always interesting. It was just kind of case by case basis every issue, you know, how it would go, and some of them went really smoothly, and there were a lot of them that you know, I was surprised that some stories did, you know, way better than I was expecting, and you know, ones where I was like, this is going to be a hit, were just duds in terms of like traffic and like, you know, but that was the nice thing about having a subscription, is you could take those chances, and you know, as long as you know, you could cover small games, and I guess I can't say it was sustainable now, but at the time I would have told you it's sustainable. Yeah,
I think just because I
think in the right hands it's sustainable.
I was about to say I do think it was probably sustainable, but not.
And I've also seen like people saying online like, well, it was a print magazine, of course it shut down, it's 2024, you know, like this has been coming for a while, and I think there is definitely truth to that. I also wouldn't tie like just because something is in decline culturally, like print magazines, right, doesn't mean it can't be profitable in the right hands.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but I mean, y'all are still doing, you know, obviously things have probably changed in this regard, but even in the 2010s, y'all are still doing more circulation than things like Sports Illustrated and Time, and even Playboy at one point. Like y'all are more popular than Boobs. Which
there's one of my
huge,
favorite tweets is it was around like 2018, or I think it was like 2018-ish, and it was some external survey that was like the most circulated magazines in America, I think, and I think we were number 3 or 4 like up there, and the tweet just says, I have no idea what the hell is Game Informer. And we're up there with like, Time and National Geographic.
Yeah. I mean, it's
really
crazy
funny.
stuff. So the air is really, I think, thin up there, and I think obviously it's thinning out for everybody. But I don't like when people were asking me like, "Oh, was this a big surprise?" I was like, "Well, why wouldn't someone just buy it?" They would ask me, and my only speculation is just like, I think it's really tough to assume that print publication and all of its moving parts and its built-in quality to a still relatively large retailer, like it's really tough to get that in a different owner, right? So like it's not an obvious switch I think you could flip, but like that's also like acting like the online version and also the video stuff that you were spearheading wasn't incredibly valuable, high quality stuff that
Definitely.
could have kept going. And
Yeah.
so you were the former video lead. I really thought you were doing some amazing work
Thank you.
with video over the past year. What were some of your favorite projects that you did, and maybe just reflect on your time doing the video portion of your work?
Yeah. I really, when I came to Game Informer, wanted to start doing documentaries. It was in the middle of COVID though when I joined, and so that wasn't.
It's a great time to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, exactly.
Never been a better
Exactly.
time.
Yeah. We got to get down on this. It's gonna be big.
Danny O'Dwyer famously had a great time making his documentaries during COVID.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And that was the thing. I didn't want to do like Discord documentaries.
Yep.
It's just not what I'm passionate about. Not saying that those aren't valuable or important.
No, I totally get it.
But just like what creatively fulfills me, it was like, no thanks.
Yep.
And so it was about 2022 that we did our first set. And actually, Blake Hester was kind of my partner in crime with the first one when we flew out to California. And I think it was late April 2022. And that trip was a whirlwind. We arrive in Santa Monica on Monday. Monday night, I get a call. My dad is gonna die, and I have to say goodbye the next morning. and Blake and I are just like at coffee. And like, so I'm like, okay, well, we've got tomorrow. We're supposed to be doing like some B-roll tomorrow, so I'll say goodbye to my dad. I'll call him in the morning, and then Blake and I will try to salvage the day and go film some B-roll at night. And then Wednesday we'll go meet up with Derek Yu. We're gonna do this Spelunky thing. My dad lived, by the way. But that week we and I did say goodbye, but he lived. I found out actually after I was filming 2 documentaries that week. The first one was Derek Yu. We took him and went caving, essentially. I mean, like we weren't like sucking in our chests and like going through crevices, but we were scaling some rock faces, and we had Derek reflect on 10 years of Spelunky and the success from that massive indie game back in the day, and kind of what that means to him today, and how he kind of used it, his past work. And all of that was set within this framing of, we're going to hike to a cave while we interview you. Mm-hmm. We're going to climb into the cave, which is like a 20 to 30 foot rock climb shimmy situation. And then once we're in the cave, we'll kind of get to the introspective stuff and talk about that. And that video turned out excellent. There's a couple shots in there that drive me nuts because they're underexposed. I don't think most people know, but to me, I'm like, there's so much film grain on this shot. But other than that, like, I love that video. I'm so proud of it. Blake Hester was produced it with me. And that one's a standout. The next day I shot another documentary called Making Mina. It was just I think Blake went and walked around Santa Monica, and I went to Alec Faulkner's house, and Alec Faulkner works at Yacht Club Games.
Yacht Club.
Yeah. And I remember just like walking to this dude's house and be like, "What's up, man? You ready to do this?" And yeah, we had a great day filming. And then in the middle of those interviews later that afternoon, I stepped out. I was getting a call from the hospital, and it was like, "Your dad's gonna live." And so I come back in, and I'm like, "My dad's gonna live. Let's keep filming." And yeah, so that's a very prominent trip in my mind. for a lot of reasons, obviously.
Yeah, that would stand out.
I think some of my other ones, just real quick, we brought the Broken Age crew back together to discuss the making of the game 10 years later, and a lot of the Double Fine leads on that project have gone on to work at other companies. So we got them all together at Red's Bar in Koreatown and in San Francisco, which is like the place that game was incubated essentially, on like one drunk party night, and they would go back there and do their thing and come up with ideas for the game at that bar. So I really liked when we had the opportunity to put developers in cool places that just totally transform or maybe not transform, but like definitely add to the entire video. I think it's so interesting. So yeah, I really loved that work there. That was a lot of fun.
Well, I think that approach is really vital, because having done either creative or some form of creative work for 15 years, I don't reflect on the moments that I was stuck in my office for 12 hours, like hammering away at a problem.
Yeah.
I focused on the place I was, or the walk I was at, or the bar I was at, or the restaurant where my collaborators and I had like a conversation that solved a problem, And I think that energy, I think your idea of that captures that energy, right? Which I think is really valuable. I think it's real. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are what come to mind, the highlights for me. I had a lot of highlights, honestly. I got to travel the world.
That's amazing.
I'd only ever been outside of the country for my honeymoon. And then I joined Game Informer and eventually got to go all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That is super, super awesome.
Yeah.
Nikki, you've probably never been to a Funko Land, have you?
No. How old do you think I am?
What about a Babbage's?
No.
I've been to a Babbage's.
EB Games was alive when I was there.
Okay.
It was one of them was a GameStop, and then one of them was an EB Games.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And then that was it. But I have like vivid memories of like the GameStop man's name was Elston. I always remember it because it's
Elston
a weird
John.
name. Elston John. And he like was like, he showed me that, like, I don't even remember which issue it was, but he like showed me a Game Informer and I'd never seen one before. Like, and I was like, they make magazine about.
Bless you.
Wow, bless you. Make a magazine about sneezing. They do.
Oh, one more.
Bless you.
Sorry. They make magazine about video game. I was like obsessed. And we signed up for whatever the fuck the version of Power Up Rewards was in 2006 or like 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Earlier than that, but like whatever version it was. And then read Game Informer every month for at least a decade, or however frequently it would come. Yeah, I think the thing that, like, it's just an institution. It would be like if they turned off like National Geographic, which is like soon, I would assume.
Where would you get your animal news from?
You know? Exactly. What am I gonna do? But it's not even like, yes, deeply, but also like, I think there is value in keeping things alive on the basis of the fact that they have been alive for a very long time. Sometimes, you know, and like, as long as they continue to do good work, justifies their existence. And that's kind of how I feel and felt about Game Informer. And I know you and I know other folks there, and I'm like, I know that y'all were doing good work. I read, looked at, watched, listened to all of that good work. So that the reason I felt so crazy about it is that, like, no reason, like literally no reason. So yeah, I don't know. Bummed. Deeply sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was definitely bummed. I remember getting my first Game Informer when I went to a Funko Land in Dallas, Texas. It was across the highway from the Galleria in a little strip center. I think my mom had read about it, and she was like, I guess I'll take my child there. And I just was fucking feral for a place that just had just video games
Yeah.
everywhere. And I got to watch it evolve from Funkoland and then to Barnes and Noble, and then Barnes and Noble basically merged it with GameStop when they also bought Babbage's. And there was this local Babbage's that actually was called Super Software, and it was a subsidiary that was owned by Babbage's. And that's where I bought the giant trapezoidal copy of Final Fantasy VII for PC. You
What?
can look it up, folks. It's had a big trapezoidal box.
Final
It's very
Fantasy
strange.
VII came out on the personal computer.
It did, yeah. That's where I played it for the first time because it didn't have a PS1.
What?
And yeah, correct. And I so connect Game Informer to a place. So there is this kind of nostalgia of, okay, this thing has been around for a long time, but it is so deeply connected to a place, which, like, for better or worse, and I understand that, like, I think a lot of recent history would indicate worse, because like that connection to GameStop was something that was usually cited by people as being a negative attached to the magazine. But like, for better or worse, in a lot of ways for me, because I'm so fucking old, it was better that it was so deeply connected to a place that I remember.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's so strange to me that I just feel like we're losing. Obviously we're losing physical media, but we're also losing places, it feels like, in a lot of ways. And I don't know how to deal with that. I feel crazy every day feeling like that. And maybe that's of my own making, of someone that spends 12 hours a day in the same room.
We need more third spaces in the world. We need more
third spaces.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's funny you mentioned, I'm not going to get into specifics, but, there were some places that in 20, I think it was like, I mean, in recent years, I thought that, there was, I'm trying to pick my words wisely. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
This guy doesn't want to get in trouble with the law.
Yeah, I'm a goody two shoes. There were going to be other places that you could go and buy Game Informer, like airports, retail places, like,
yeah.
And then the 2022 layoffs hit, and that kind of, along with that, I think around that time, some executives also got shuffled, and that fell apart. But it was like, yeah, there was a lot of like, man, this is going to be big for us. There were a lot of those moments in recent years, and yeah,
frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really frustrating.
Definitely.
We have some Hive questions. We usually save those all for one block, kind of toward the end. Since we got you for just 1 hour ish, I'm going to open it up a little bit here.
Of course.
Let's see, I've got 2 questions.
I'm going to run to the restroom.
You're gonna quickly. Go. All right, hold on. Let me add that banner real quick. Nikki.
Oh my God.
Nikki shitting.
Go piss and or shit. We'll see.
Stay tuned.
How long they're gone.
Keep it locked.
There we go. All right. So, question for you. It's not really a question, but Imran Khan. I've never heard of this person, but Imran Khan asks, "I'd like to know more about Alex's upcoming YouTube documentary project and the best way to support it."
Yeah. Wow, Imran. So nice of you. How did you know about that? Why didn't you know that was a thing?
How could Imran possibly know?
Yeah, so this is going to get announced tomorrow on Friday, August 9th. But I've kind of started soft launching it. I was on Min-Max last night and knew that would roll out. I knew it was going to be on here. But my next thing is called Viewport. It's inside looks at game development, video game documentaries, developer profiles. It's going to be Patreon funded. The Patreon's live now. The YouTube channel's live. I have yet to film the announcement video. That's why I can only stay for an hour today, because I am going to film that. But yeah, it's Viewport. It's at Viewport Video, pretty much on Twitter, on Patreon, on YouTube, youtube.com/@Viewport Video. Love that they did that to those usernames.
Listen, that's delicious. That's delicious.
Yeah. I've actually already filmed one documentary, because this was going to be a side project originally. I'd gotten approval from my boss, Matt Miller, to do non-AAA game docs. At this point now, maybe it'll expand into AAA. I don't know, but I am really interested and inspired by solo game devs, smaller game studios, and you can tell that from my work at Game Informer. The Mina the Hollower doc, the Spelunky doc. That's my lane typically. And yeah, so Viewport is going to be all about that. I filmed the first doc back in July in Montreal. Don't want to announce that one yet because the game is releasing soon, and I don't want to
you want to jinx it.
Yeah, and
Taylor,
and also it's a smaller game compared to the one that I'm going to film next week in Seattle. I'm going to film the making of Another Crab's Treasure with Aggro Crab.
That's fun.
So I'll be there. Next Wednesday I leave to go do that. There's a couple other. I don't want to do just game development documentaries. I'm going to be, when I'm in Seattle, going to be doing a video called, working title, but A Day in the Life of Running Pink Gorilla, the US's biggest retro game store.
Yeah.
So we got that in the works, and then we're gonna see how this Patreon launch goes. I've got a couple of people that have rolled in already and started supporting it. I think a lot of what I want to do, I mentioned, I'm not all that interested in doing Discord documentaries. I want to be on location.
Sure.
All that requires money. So we're gonna see how it goes over the next few weeks. But my plan is to go to England maybe later this year. I have family that lives there, so I can stay with them and use that as like a home base to go see a lot of developers. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Viewport, I'm excited. It's going to be a good time. I'm also going to try to do some consulting, some freelancing. I'm kind of just keeping things open. All of this is so fresh, but yeah, I just want to say creatively, I want to keep moving,
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and I think like having your own space to do this, and having kind of your own community that can fund the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Is definitely powerful and freeing and awesome. So I think you'll have a good time with this.
Me too.
I was one of the people that just rolled up, so I just
thank you.
Did that now. It took me. You know what, folks? If you're logged into your Patreon account, it takes so little time to do one of those. So just click
two buttons.
This is like
thank you. That's so nice.
So, Patreon.com.
There's no video yet. There's no thank you video. Those will be active tonight, very late at night.
Yeah, it's already a dead Patreon.
Yeah, dead on arrival.
So nothing there.
Nothing.
No, but this is super exciting. I think just seeing the potential of what you'd already been doing on Game Informer, and then knowing that you've kind of got your own independent way to do that is definitely exciting. So
yeah, thanks, man.
Do that. Yeah, of course. So yeah, definitely go do that. It's just following up with like a totally relevant question.
Of course.
If you didn't have hands, what two things would you replace them with? Asked Sleeve McDykel.
I think I would have one fork.
All of the time. All of the time.
Oh, I can't like
all of the time.
All of the time. Wait. Hold on. Wait.
You're like, don't lock it in. Don't lock it in. We're not locked into that one.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
I mean, I would probably just want like prosthetic. But if
That's a great answer.
If I can't have that,
what would you want if you didn't have hands? Hands, probably.
Yeah. The other variety.
Hands. Yeah.
Maybe like one of those grandma claws. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
That's
the extendos.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'd be one hand, and I feel like I could hold things. I could eat with that. I could pick up a burger with that.
Okay.
And then on the other hand, I'm gonna go with maybe this is a chance to get some cyberpunk augments.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get like a heartbeat detector.
That's great.
So then I'll know when there's people around me.
When there's people around you.
Yeah.
There's no other way to find that out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I thought you meant like a stethoscope. Like I'm just gonna be like, here you go.
No, I
Here we
mean,
go. Is your heart beating?
you know,
Yeah.
if the heartbeat monitor is strong enough, like I could see through walls essentially.
That's the thing.
Wow,
I think
yeah,
that's the
that's
move.
true.
You need to
Yeah.
make yourself suddenly unbelievably useful to United States government.
Yeah, oh yeah, I need
Is
to
the
get involved
move.
with military contractors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it has to be like I've got a gun that's got unlimited bullets.
My
that's in
grandma
my
claw
arm,
has the gun, and then I can see
Yes.
through walls with my.
and I can see through walls
Wow.
employed
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
The CIA is
That's
gonna
actually
love
like the
you.
perfect making of like a mercenary. I could.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. Nikki, what about you?
Magnet
Whoa.
Okay.
on one of them because
Okay.
then I could put anything I want on there.
Then you can never use a credit card. I love it.
That's okay. I don't have one of those.
Okay.
So you just put one of those on there. Magnet. Maggot. And a maggot on the other hand.
And a
Just
maggot.
one weird little worm guy. A magnet on one hand, then you can pop that baby off. You can do
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
I did make fun of you for a fork, but now I kind of am like,
You know. Yeah. What are you gonna
Right. What are you
interact
gonna do?
with?
Right.
I guess the magnet though, you could pick up forks with a magnet if it's really
that's
strong.
so true. That's
Mhm.
so true.
You could also equip a knife if you want to join my mercenary squad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's a pretty good
What
one.
if I got a second arm?
Just
Mm.
Can I have
Then you
another
would-
arm in
then you
place
would
of
look
my
at-
hand?
So
It's
you're kind
really
of
Wouldn't that
long.
just
kinda
be
going
one
for that-
really long arm?
You're kind of going for that like Elden Ring kind of
Yes.
vibe. Okay.
Yeah,
So arms on arms on arms, that kind of
yeah, that's it.
Okay. I would do a Roku remote and a bottle opener. I think like
How are you gonna eat?
Why
someone will
Roku?
feed me. Someone will
Come
feed me.
on.
Well, Roku is fun because I could drive down the street and just change other people's
Yeah,
TVs.
everybody else's.
Oh, because
TVs.
because I think that's a fun.
You could go to
thing
Roku
do.
City for sure.
I could go to
Yes,
Roku
they would
City.
give you the key to Roku City if one of your hands was a Roku remote.
Take me down to the Roku City
Mhm.
where everything's purple and
Yeah, yeah,
and they're doing the gritty.
that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah. Sergeant Sphinx asks, apropos of not knowing that if any of us are baseball fans,
Yeah.
which team is going to win a World Series first? The Mariners, Brewers, Rockies, Rays, or Padres?
Great question.
Shout out Rockies. I went to mini games when I lived in Colorado.
Okay.
I'm not a baseball guy, but I like going to
Good
baseball
ballpark.
games. I had my wife Kayla and I. We had nacho cheese thrown at us from above one time. It was entertainment.
Hell yeah,
That's what the
Okay.
Rockies give you.
that's baseball. Mariners. I think it would just be fun for them.
I also think it's going to be the Mariners first.
Yeah.
I think they've never made it to the World Series,
No.
but I think they're going to be the first ones who win.
I think folks
I
typically
agree.
like rooting for Seattle sports teams. Like there's something
Yeah, there's
usually
something
pretty
there.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it also gives us a second chance to have John Boyce and the secret base folks go back in for
Yeah.
like a postscript on their Mariners history.
Be like,
thing.
haha, just kidding.
Just kidding, they won. All right, that's kind of a good one. All right, so what ancient board game would you most want to have a Balatro but for X for? This is from Lucky Hyena. So
Yu-Gi-Oh.
That is such
Yeah.
a good answer.
famous ancient game Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
John, John's showing his whole ass. Doesn't know that it's the ancient game from ancient Egypt. They've been playing it for millennia. And just
like they're-
he's the king of games. They've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for longer than the wheel has existed, John. So- But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh or maybe Beyblade. One of
Yu-Gi-Oh
those.
or Beyblade.
Beyblade, my
Balatro,
favorite
but
board
for-
game.
my
Yes.
favorite board game. Beyblade.
You can play Beyblades on a board.
Yeah,
Actually, that
I
is
guess
true.
that's
And you have to
That's
have the
true.
stadium
Yeah.
to do it right.
That's true.
Beyblades are back, according to TikTok.
They
That's
are.
true.
They are.
I've seen some really intense Beyblade battles on
Yeah.
TikTok.
They have hot takes about how bad the new arenas are, but apparently the Beyblades themselves are good.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, but the arenas
Are
ass.
terrible. Or ass. Okay. All right. So we have Yu-Gi-Oh. We have Beyblades.
Shout out Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Mhm.
Okay. Pokemon,
Ancient
but
board games.
Balatro.
Hey,
I
what
would-
the fuck? What's in there? Are you
Yeah,
gonna
what
open
is in
that
there?
guy, or are you gonna keep that guy closed for the rest of your life?
No, I'm gonna open it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
My wife is watching this live stream,
Oh,
Sorry, Kayla, I bought this. I needed happy juice. I got it at Target when I got toilet paper. I didn't tell you, but you're finding out about it now.
You're finding out about it right now. Hi,
But
Kayla.
look at that illustration
Look at it.
card.
I
I
took the box out of the bag and stuffed it under my shirt. So you would know that I got it, as well as toilet paper.
Yeah, are we
Sorry.
in trouble now? Are we?
No, we'll be
complicit?
good. We'll be good.
Okay, great.
All right, that's good.
I hope.
God, yeah, Pokemon Balatro would be kind of cool.
It'd just be great if you could
Yeah.
play Pokemon in like a mobile. I mean, I know they're launching that new thing. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
For whatever
that
that's gonna
Pokemon.
be. Yeah,
Yes, they should make a good Pokemon game.
they should. Yeah, I think
I
like
think that would be
actually
cool.
Pokemon is fun to play, but it is not fun to try to play Pokemon, if that makes sense.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please do that.
What about you, John? What game are you turning into a Balatro?
Go,
Oh,
you know,
that's good.
like the oldest one. You
the
know?
oldest one.
Monopoly
And no,
Go?
again, Yu-Gi-Oh is
No.
older than Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Ancient millennia,
We just talked about
the
this, John.
pyramids.
Exactly.
The
The
pyramids.
pyramids are
The
before
pyramids.
Go.
I do think chess with Balatro would be kind of fun.
Ooh, that's a good
Of
idea.
like you have little jokers on the side that change the way the
Like,
board works.
Mm.
Shut up. Shush, 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 shush. Cut it out. Stop.
Cut it out.
That's a
TM,
good
TM,
idea.
TM. That's a good idea.
That's a good
All right.
idea. Because
Yeah.
then it changes. Hold on, but you're saying so depending on what cards you have, the rules of the guys, like of the
Sure.
pieces, the movement of the pieces changes, and also are you playing?
Or like now your queen has like a rail gun.
Okay,
And,
but
you know.
that's great.
New
Here's my
Honeybee
question.
Rodeo.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Situation.
Is it-
yeah.
Is the AI playing against you, or are you trying to solve a chess puzzle? Like, is the board is the opponent board stagnant, just set up? Oh, my camera froze. Is the board stagnant and set up,
Goodbye.
or is it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
You know what I
like
mean?
like couldn't you get cards that like make like the middle row, lava or something?
Yes.
Like couldn't you?
I think
you could do that?
adding terrain modifiers to the board
Mhm,
would be
mhm.
really cool.
mhm. My Hero Zero, I don't think Chess Balatro is just really bad chess. Really bad chess is the game up on Puzzmo, which is
Yes.
Zach Gage's cool puzzle thing, which you can subscribe to. Really bad chess basically just changes like the
Placement of the guys.
placement and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think really bad chess is fun. I don't think it goes far enough in
Yeah.
this.
It should be
case.
weirder.
It should be weirder. Okay, cool. Before we take a break, I want to talk about Wolfeye's first-person sci-fi RPG. This got leaked. Not leaked. Ralph Colantonio
Yeah, what?
announced. Yeah, not leaked.
He leaked the game that he's making.
Well, he listen. Ralph Colantonio is the guy that said "press sneak fucks" famously.
That's
So,
yes.
like, we could say
Did
that
he
it
really?
was leaked. Yeah, that was him. He sent the email to Arcade guys. It was like, "Don't tell the press sneak fucks about stuff." That was the big thing with him years ago. I met him, and I think he's a totally cool guy.
That's really
I
funny.
was a big fan of Dishonored and Prey, and Ralph Colantonio was a big part of making
Mhm.
Dishonored and Prey. He also made Weird West, which was their kind of isometric RPG like game that came out a couple of years ago.
I reviewed that for Game
Um,
Informer.
How'd you like it?
I give it an 8.
Yeah.
I thought the world was really neat. I think like the second and third characters you play as were
Yeah.
the best ones.
Yeah.
I think the first one I could have done without, where you're going and finding your dead or your family, or I don't know if you know if they're dead or not. I don't remember.
It was kind of dry. Like
Yeah.
they started on the wrong foot.
They
I feel
did,
like.
but then you could play as a
Yeah.
werewolf or a pig,
Mhm,
and that was awesome.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
cool ideas.
So definitely cool idees. Like I think this team is good. It's going to be a first-person RPG sci-fi
that.
retro. Does look there are like 3 screenshots that have been posted. You can go to I think Wario 64. A couple other outlets have talked about it as well. But it's going to be first person. That team is making it. And he's basically said, hey, if you like Dishonored and Prey, you're going to like this. It doesn't have a publisher yet, which is interesting. Kind of to your point of unveiling a game that doesn't have a publisher yet. I feel like that's kind of a rarity in today's market of like, hey, we're making a thing. We don't have the money to make it yet, but here we are. But it looks really cool. What do you, Nikki and Alex, like, what do y'all both want from a game like this?
To come out.
To come out, okay.
Yeah,
So
that'd be big.
That's
Let me
gonna be big
make
for
some
me.
notes.
Is that it like
For
actually
Nikki,
comes out?
It's important that the game comes
out so I can play it.
And
I
for
want
that,
to. I want to forget that this game exists.
Okay.
Is basically how I feel about it. Like amped to learn about this. This is the first I'm hearing of this. I would love to forget about it until the video game is
until it comes out. Sure.
Yes.
And for Alex, you just need it to be better than Redfall, one of your favorite games.
Yeah. I mean, I love immersive sims. I love everything Arcane puts out. So if it could just be cool like that, I don't know. He's with Wolfeye now, his own studio, but you know what I mean. Yeah. I just want it. Please, yeah, like Nikki said, please come out. Please don't get canceled.
Yeah. I think like a game that also picks up on the stealth elements that I think some of these games kind of get away from, especially when like I feel like retail numbers often change the ways that these games actually end up going through development. It's like, well, we can't make it too stealthy, otherwise like the casual audience won't play it. And I'm always kind of like, I don't know if that's true. I think you got to lean really heavy into the immersive sim stuff and just kind of let people cook, you know?
Yeah. One thing I do want from it is kind of a return to the more linear is a bad way to describe it. Non-open world is maybe better. I think when they
levels.
Yeah, I want levels. Good. Perfect. Yeah, I want levels. And I think that's when Arcane does it best, is when they don't have to worry about like how these levels connect to each other in a larger world, because then they just become POIs, and what do you do outside of those POIs? Like, I think that was one of Redfall's downfalls. I want Clockwork Mansion. I want a return to like give me a good ass level. So
like density, right?
Density,
like kind of a density
of, multiple paths, obviously, but I think ultimately density is what I think Weird West lacked a bit, and previous. I think Deathloop lacked it a bit. Deathloop was definitely still like, you had the mansion that was really cool.
I wasn't a huge fan of Deathloop.
Oh, it was my game of the year. I loved it.
Okay, so I've come back around on Deathloop. Wow. I liked it when I played it and then cooled off on it.
Yeah.
And then I played it again when it came out on the Xbox and then was like, actually, this game fucking bangs.
Yeah.
Like the story is
yeah.
Like and especially like the reveal at the end really kind of icked me. But like I think that game fucking bangs, actually. Like I really like Deathloop.
The multiplayer was so fun too.
Yes. Deeply fun. I will always remember that first or second week of the game being out. I was on like in the snowy level.
Yeah.
And I got invaded, and then I got deeply, and then I got a tweet from Austin Walker, and he was like, "Gosh, your ass," and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I'm not even on my friends list.
That's
like,
so
I was
funny.
like, "What do you mean?"
That's so good.
You got No Scope by Austin Walker. No, I just think that when I think even Redfall was one of those games where like the actual mechanical stuff was not that interesting, but you could still see their flair for designing internal spaces was just like still really, really, really interesting and good. And they're just really good at that. And I think like Wolfeye, again, not Arcane, but also involves a lot of people that were from that world. I'm just excited for them to cook like that again, I think, and have really cool spaces to do weird stuff in.
Me too.
So yeah, definitely excited about that. One of my most intriguing game announcements of the year so far. Alex, I want to thank you so much for hanging out. This has been so much fun.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can go to Patreon right now and support Viewport Video. That is Alex's brand new, cool, independent video docs series. You can support it right now at many different levels, which is super exciting. What else do you want people to go check out?
Yeah, you can just follow me, my personal account on social at It's Van Aken. I'm a lot more active on Instagram these days.
Okay.
I don't post much on Instagram. But I do use my story a lot. One of the crimes that Twitter has committed over the years was getting rid of fleets. I love those. I thought it was great.
What are you saying?
Fleets. They were like the Instagram stories for Twitter. I was like one of 100 users that used it, but I loved it.
Clearly. Like, what did you just call us?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I remember fleets.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also on the Cursed site, so if you're on X, I'm active there as well.
What?
Yeah.
That I can't handle.
I know.
You can. I'll let you say the word fleets. You will not call that website.
You know this is legitimately the first time I've called it X in a serious way.
Sick.
And you know what, Alex? We're grossed out that you chose
You're right.
this platform.
You're right. I should just leave.
First.
I should leave.
Yeah, I think you should leave.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't feel comfortable here anymore. Actually.
Yeah, I think we're going to kick you off the show, and you are welcome back literally anytime.
Anytime.
How does this work? Patreon, do I just wave goodbye and you kick me out?
No. We're all going to take a break. And I'm going to put that jazz back up.
Ooh.
But you can't.
But you know what? This is the last time the three of us are going to talk.
Okay.
Because I can't talk to you after we go
yes. So that's
away.
why we have to, and Jordan, leave all of this in.
Leave all of this in.
You can't leave until the thing at the bottom.
Oh, that's so important.
Oh, but it's not gonna.
This is
the thing.
Wild.
Oh, wow.
It isn't gonna.
It's not gonna.
I didn't think about that.
It's not
gonna.
About that.
It isn't.
Y'all, it's not gonna.
It isn't gonna.
Alex, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. And if you don't want to do this, that's okay. There is a way around it that I can message you about later. And Jordan, leave all of this in. Okay?
Yeah.
You're going to have to leave this open.
That's fine.
Okay. And just mute yourself, turn off your camera, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you off the stage. And then when it ends, it's going to upload a file for me. And then you can close it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll message you.
I'll go eat lunch.
Yes.
Go eat lunch.
Do that. Do
make
anything
sure
else.
you leave your mic and camera on, and I'm just gonna do a big zoom of you eating for the rest of the show.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. I got some.
All right,
pineapple.
Alex, thanks so much for hanging out. We're gonna go take a quick break. Nikki and I'll be back at the end of the break, and we will see y'all in a bit.
Continue.
That was a quick break. Thank you so much for Alex Van Aken for hanging out. That was a lot of fun. Once again, that is patreon.com/viewport video. You can go there now and go ahead and sign up. He is soft launching it as you're listening to this now on Thursday, but by the time you listen to it on the podcast on Friday, it should be hard. Nikki. Oh, wow.
I didn't say
ruining
anything.
The launch.
I didn't say anything.
Ruining the launch.
What did I say?
Alex's detractors will now post videos and be like, Nikki Grayson implied that Alex Van Aken has a hard dick for his own Patreon.
I didn't say that.
That's what you said.
I didn't say anything of this sort. I just said that he was hard.
You said it gets totally different.
It's different.
Hey, Borderlands has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it went up. So that's good.
Actually, I think it went down to 3 when I wrote this.
Hey, the percent symbol in this font is whack.
It is weird, huh? It's like it's very strange. I don't like it.
It looks like like an Olympic pictogram.
It does look
for
like
something.
An Olympic pictogram. So Borderlands, that comes out this weekend, which I totally fucking missed until this morning. Kate Blanchett, as well as Kevin Hart, as well as a lot of people I didn't realize were in it, like Bobby Lee and Ravina.
No,
how do you say her last name?
Janina Gavankar. You want to just take us down and we'll try again?
No, I'm not going to take us down, but I am going to try it one more time.
Okay.
Hey, Janina Gavankar, I'm really sorry for fucking up your name really bad.
Jack Black in it.
Jack Black in it.
Jack Black so it's good.
It's apparently very bad. What I didn't know about this movie is that it's rated PG-13. I did not know that until literally this morning.
Wait, really?
Yes.
What?
Borderlands is rated PG-13. Now,
And it's bad?
granted, Mortal Kombat from 1995 was also a PG-13 movie.
That's different, though. They didn't have R back then.
You're right. R-rated movies started with
Titanic.
Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's nuts.
It's a fucking Eli Roth, aka the Hostile guy, movie that is about Borderlands, which is,
Especially in a post Deadpool, that's crazy
Right.
to have it be PG-13.
post multiple Deadpools. Like
Yes.
it was like certainly after Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, which, like, by the way, this movie's been in the can since 2001. I mean,
That's really fucking funny. They've been sitting on this movie for
sorry.
23 calendar years.
Since 2021. Excuse me.
Yes.
No, it was filmed right before 9/11, and they've held it since then. No, so yeah, it's been in the can since 2021. And it went through what they called kind of a post-development hell. The original writer has written himself off of the screenplay and requested he be removed from it.
That's great. That's how you know it's good.
Even the most enthusiastic TikTok-based like geek media reviewers I've seen that are just like, they see every Marvel movie and they're like, this is the best thing we've ever seen. Or like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Awesome.
So it's
I can't wait. I'll go to the movies for this.
yeah.
I'm upset. I think I've missed Twisters and 40X. I think I missed my Oppie.
Didn't they put it back in some places?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't go to the
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
I'd rather do anything else and go to watch it than watch a movie.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. I can't do it. You want me to do one thing for 2 hours? No way.
You like won't sit and watch a movie.
John, the last motion picture I watched in the theaters was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, okay, but that was like 9 months ago.
No, it wasn't.
Across the Spider-Verse?
That was like a calendar year ago. I see like a movie a year, I think.
Okay.
Like on average, I see a movie a year
Okay.
in the theaters.
Okay.
Was Across the Spider-Verse after Talking is Hard or before?
Talking is hard.
Yes.
What is talking is hard?
Is that not what that movie is called?
Talking is
Stop
hard.
Stop making sense. See, you don't even know what they're called. What is Talking is Hard? What does that
Talking
mean?
is hard. Stop making sense.
What is Talking is Hard?
I don't know. Are you thinking about the Talking Heads? Because that's who did.
Yeah, but what is Talking is Hard? That's
I don't
an
know.
album by Walk the Moon.
Oh wow.
We were talking about them recently.
Wow. Talk hard.
Ugh.
The Dewey Cox story.
Talk hard.
Talk
Whatever,
hard.
dude. I don't go see those things.
Okay.
Flicks are not for me. The last time
Okay.
I expressed excitement about watching a flick, I had it ruined for me in the middle of a podcast. So then I didn't watch the flick.
All right, for folks who may not know, this was the movie Challengers, which like how this happened is really funny. You expressed a desire to see Challengers, and then LB, without skipping a beat, essentially just told you what the movie was about completely. And like, I don't like, it would not have ruined my desire to go see a movie, but I do understand that it would ruin some people's desire to see a movie. So it was very funny. Liv, speaking the truth here, I did almost say Gooey Cox. That is true.
LOL.
I almost said that.
Gooey
It's
Cox
so
story. If they
true.
put Walk Hard in the movies,
Mhm.
again, I'd go see that.
God, okay.
Wrong
Okay.
kid died.
Wrong kid died. Wrong kid
kid
died.
Died.
Wrong kid died.
Are there more census questions, Sean?
No, I don't have any. Do you want to make?
So what are we
should
doing?
Make some up.
I don't want to talk about Borderlands because who gives a shit?
Oh, that was it.
Oh, okay, great.
How excited are you all to see
You
the
just said
Borderlands
that was
movie? This is
it.
from Sleeve McDykel.
I'm amped. I've already seen it 6 times. I'm recording this live from the AMC in Burbank.
Hey, what's the worst pizza topping you're willing to try? This is from
Define
Logan.
worst.
Well, I would say a pizza topping that is commonly put on pizzas that you are like, I don't think I would like this.
Mushrooms.
Okay, so you just don't like mushrooms.
No, I.
But you would be willing to try it?
Yeah.
You'd be willing to try a mushroom pizza,
Mushroom
even though
pizza.
you don't like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Okay.
You know what? I had a
Yeah,
great
what's up?
pizza recently.
Okay.
tell you about it?
Tell me about your pizza.
It
pizza.
had pears on it
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and Bakari. Hold on. It was at Bakari.
Okay.
There's a restaurant. There's like 4 of them. 5 of them
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Let me look at pizza. Asian pear and brie. It had guava fromage, guava white cheese. It's fucking
Okay.
stupid. Here's my real take.
Okay.
If you have a restaurant, you have to pick a language for the menu.
Okay.
You can't sometimes have words be in French.
I agree.
It's an Asian pear and brie pizza. And then it says guava fromage blanc. No, it's not. It's white cheese. The rest of the menu is in English. Guava cheese is what you have here. Guava cheese, wild arugula, gray salt, and olive oil. It was freaking
Is it
delicious.
a vegan pizza place?
No, it's just they just have pizzas.
But what's guava cheese?
It's just like regular cheese. What's got hints of guava in it, like notes of guava.
Oh,
Which didn't really mean anything. It didn't taste like guava.
I
It was
thought-
just like kind of sweeter than like a normal pizza, but it was freaking delicious.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
They also have an octopus pizza.
I like octopus.
Well, that one's got octopus, pasilla cream, mozzarella, fennel, and caper relish, scallion, and Urfa pepper oil.
Do
Do you want to hear about the rest of them?
Try it. Yeah. Read the rest of this.
They've got a
menu.
margarita pizza, which has what you know. So I'm
It
not
has
gonna read that
lime
one.
and salt. Yeah.
Yep. Tequila. They just pour a whole bottle of tequila right on top
Really
of it. It's real sloppy.
pizza.
Yeah, it's wet.
Mhm.
Smoked mushroom, which has fromage blanc, white cheddar, 2-year aged, whatever that means, and mixed greens. And bacon and double cream brie. We also had that one. Organic tomato sauce, and then fresh jalapeno,
Mhm.
and then a vegan pizza, which I'm not even gonna bother. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? I made.
Get out of here.
Did you make anything good this week for food, John? You have any plans to make anything good? This week?
I made like a improvised marinade with yogurt and a can of chipotles and some limes and garlic and some spices for some chicken thighs, and then I grilled those. So it's got kind of this like, it's almost like this it has the texture and like the texture of like a tandoori chicken, but the flavor profile of
Ooh.
like something that's Mexican.
Yum! That sounds delightful.
And I just like had a wild hair to do that, and it was really, really good. I ate it with a bunch of tortillas and stuff like that over the past like few days.
When you get back out here, I gotta take you to Lasita, which is in Chinatown.
Mhm.
It's like a Filipino rotisserie style joint. Freaking delicious.
You were telling me about this place.
yes.
It sounds really good.
I think you would love it. I last night or yesterday afternoon made a garlic, ginger, pepper, like cod situation, which was delicious. I'm trying to get into cooking fish more.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Cooking fish is hard.
Cooking
It's
fish
harder
is
than you
really
would
hard.
expect.
Yeah, the first piece I cooked, it was over, and then the second piece was better.
Yeah.
It was good. It was way spicier than anything I think I've ever cooked for myself before.
Oh,
It was great. I had a great time eating it, great time making it. Yummy.
That's fun. I remember when Ann and her brother Eric went fishing in the White River, about an hour and a half away from here. And they both came home with trout.
Mhm.
And like fresh trout, and was like, let's do a cook-off, you and me, and who, like, Eric will be the judge. And I was like, cool. And so I made this like, garlicky lemony sauce and did all this stuff with it, and Anne basically just like grilled it in a pan, and she's like, you cheated, you used lemon. And I'm like
You cooked it.
I'm like,
That's fucked
I
up.
was like, all you did is cook it in a thing. was like, I just used a good ingredient. Fish is good. I just never.
Fish is other people food to make for me. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy. Especially like a whitefish like cod. It's like it's got some like if you overcook it,
it's done.
It
goes instantly.
Yep.
Yes.
It goes instantly. So yeah, that's not a good one.
Hey, that's the worst pizza topping that I'm willing to try.
I guess I would try an anchovy pizza.
You don't like tinned fish at all?
I don't like. No, I don't really like it. I mean, I would try it, but I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the most adventurous I'd probably be. Hey, what's the Cleveland Browns? It's the video games.
Okay, so we have to, I think, define the Cleveland Browns first.
A franchise that hasn't done shit.
Yes, no hope.
But it's been around forever.
Been around forever, but no hope.
Mm-hmm.
But people who are fans of it have hope for some reason.
Okay.
But they are depressed about it.
Okay.
So it has to be a long-running franchise. Long-running.
I think there's a really easy answer here under those parameters.
The Kingdom Hearts?
No, it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think that's true, though, because I do think that there are good Sonic games. And I think that the highs for Sonic the Hedgehog...
There have been good Cleveland Browns teams.
But I think the highs for Sonic the Hedgehog and the cultural relevance of Sonic the Hedgehog is stronger and more long-standing than that of the Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns have been around since 1930. They had Jim Brown on the team in the 60s. One of the greatest football players to ever live.
Won nothing.
Well, the Cleveland Browns did. Okay, Cleveland Browns championships. They did win 4 NFL championships in 1950, 1954 to 1955, and then 1964. And they won 4 All-America Conference championships.
I don't think those
from 1946 to 1949.
It's really weird, but for me, I don't think the NFL, like anything that you do pre-Super Bowl era in the NFL, I actually don't think it counts or matters. which is like an unbelievably toxic way to think about it.
I think it counts, but I would almost agree with you that I'm not sure it matters.
I don't know if it matters. And
weirdly enough, I know those things sound the same, but they are different.
They are different. I just don't think it makes a difference. Like, I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Is it? And I'm looking at a list of the longest running video game series.
I mean, there are definitely long running video game series that I think about and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like Medal of Honor. I mean, that's done now.
Yeah.
But
they really were just churning those out.
You're really trying to get those working.
That's actually a really good one. Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
I think we should say Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor is the Cleveland Browns of football.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone asked, RJ Lee asked, asking the question in reverse, what's the Sonic the Hedgehog of NFL football teams?
Okay, so that means it's got to be
blue
peaky,
with a big cock.
Peaky, but never really accomplishing, like never winning at all. Never winning the big one.
Okay.
Who hasn't won?
All right. No one. Okay. So that's the Cardinals, teams without NFL championships. So we have I guess the Cardinals won an NFL championship before the Super Bowl era.
We just said that.
But the Buffalo Bills, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings.
The Atlanta. I think you're right.
It's the
Vikings.
Because they're charming.
They've peaked too. Like in 1998, they absolutely should have won the Super Bowl. But
yes. Peaky, has character, has rich history.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
History that like stands kind of in contrast with itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it keeps going somehow. Like somehow it is always relevant, even if it doesn't feel like it deserves to continue to be relevant. I think it's the Vikings. Good question.
I don't think the Vikings are embarrassing enough to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
I don't think Sonic is embarrassing anymore
You
to
don't-
regular people. To regular people, I don't think
Okay.
Sonic is
All right,
embarrassing.
maybe not. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true.
I
Maybe
think
that's
like people who know things for sure.
Mhm.
But like he's like Knuckles is a show on Paramount Plus. You know, like
Okay.
like Sonic is over in
Okay.
the wrestling sense, not like
Right.
dead in the water.
Not dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, just so you know, the Cleveland Browns are also on this list. Teams that have never won.
No, because I think people do like Sonic.
Okay.
I think more people like Sonic than people like the Cleveland Browns, and I think the Minnesota
I think
Vikings
that's
are an
true.
easier sell for the rest of the world.
Out of all of these teams, so it's the Bills, Vikings, Falcons, Bengals, Cardinals, Titans, Panthers, Lions, Browns, Texans,
Chargers.
Jaguars, Chargers. I think out of all of these, the Vikings are the most likable.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it's like,
And it's like you
I don't
have
know.
sympathy for the
maybe
Vikings.
maybe the Lions after that.
Yeah.
And they're blue.
And they're blue, and they did have like really fallow periods.
They did.
Like deeply fallow periods. The thing about
They
the
did.
Vikings is that they're mid.
They're mid.
But like there are a lot of bad
Really
Sonic
bad
games.
Really bad Detroit Lions.
Really bad
teams.
Detroit Lions teams, really bad Sonic games, and like bad Sonic games back to back, and bad Detroit Lions teams back to back.
Back to back. I think it's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I think it's the Lions.
Final answer, Regis.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Diddle-diddle-diddle-doo. Congratulations. You've won.
Yay!
Now for a $10 question.
Oh.
Nope. How many fingers and thumbs do you think a Lego minifig has?
0.
Ask Lucky Hyena. I also think it's 0.
It's 0. They have one. Excuse me. You
They have
gave me
one
the
claw
hiccups. That's
hand.
fucking crazy, dude.
Yep.
They have one this.
Mm-hmm.
One C claw, and there's no fingers and thumbs.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Fuck me.
How'd you fuck this up?
What does completing a game mean to you? By what metric do you say you've beaten a game?
It depends on the kind of video game.
Thank you, My Hero 0.
Thank you, My Hero 0. It depends.
Okay, well, let's talk about that because I agree, but what does that mean to you?
So, like, I don't like. I would say that I beat Destiny 2.
Okay.
Even though there's a million and one things that have come out since I stopped playing Destiny 2. But I got what I wanted out of Destiny 2.
Okay.
And I put in a sufficient amount of time.
Okay.
And I feel like I completed Destiny 2.
Completed
For
Destiny
other
2.
games,
Okay.
like for Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, for example, which is
Mhm.
I'm playing right now, the win condition in that game is very simple. It is you see the credits. Like that's when you beat the video game.
Mhm.
But then there are other games that you can't beat. Like you can't beat Fortnite. Like there is no there's no conclusion to that one because there's no
there's no
story.
There's no ending to Fortnite.
As there, yes, exactly. So I think it is relative.
Okay.
What about you?
I think it depends. Like I think like I think it's not true that I think when you're I think anytime you're like, well, I think I've seen everything there is to see, therefore I've beaten the game.
No, I think there's a oh, Jesus Christ.
It's okay.
Am I dying?
You might be. I might be too.
There's a difference between saying that you're done with it. Oh, you're done with the game and you've beaten it. I think those are two different things.
Yeah. But I think about something like Balatro.
Yeah.
Where I've played that game a lot to the point where I could probably say, like, if someone casually is like, I've beaten Balatro, they may mean that they've like 100% completed it. They've beaten it with every single condition and deck and all that stuff. And like, I haven't done that, but like,
or they
we can speak to the experience at, I think, roughly the same level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they could also literally mean they saw the words on the screen, you win.
Yep.
And I would qualify and be like, yeah, you did beat Balatro.
You did beat Balatro. You did get the thing. Yeah, it's hard. Like No Man's Sky. I don't think I need to see the end of the main story of that to have experienced all of its systems and everything good that I'm going to get out of that. So I think it really, really, really depends. Rarely when someone says like I've completed it, do I assume that they mean that they've like 100%ed an experience. It's very rare.
Yeah.
In that vein, like, what is the last game that you 100%ed? I'm curious about that.
100%ed Spider-Man.
Yeah.
2.
Spider-Man 2?
Yes.
The recent Spider-Man 2?
Yes.
You 100% of that game. You got everything there is to get in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know.
Huh.
It was one of those situations where like I looked up and was like 85% of the way done.
Whoa.
And was like, okay, well, I guess I might as well.
Weird.
But like, I'm not that kind of person. I used to be more inclined to do that.
Yeah.
But not so much anymore.
Yeah, because I'm never like did you plat that? I'm now not a person that cares about.
I used to be when I was a child.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh no, like if I'm over it, I will leave it. I simply will walk away.
Sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
What about you? Do you know?
What was the last game I 100%ed? What was the last game that I 100%ed? Oh, it was Breath of the Wild.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
for me, the reason I don't do it is that it's not an intelligent use of my time.
I think I missed like 50 seeds.
Oh, that's okay.
So I haven't done that actually.
That's like 99. That's okay.
Maybe
I won't tell.
Maybe it was like, well, I think it was probably the Mass Effect games. Maybe it was Dragon Age Inquisition.
That's crazy.
Well, those aren't that
hard. What is
hard
100%? Yeah, well, I was gonna say like, what is 100? Like,
you have to like keep your companions alive, and you have to like, there are some collectibles like some special weapons and items and special quests that you can go on.
I played and really liked that game. Gun to my head, have no idea what the gameplay loop in that game is. Dragon Age Inquisition, couldn't tell you. I have no idea what the video game plays like. Mostly going
to a place, and then they're like, "Oh, the sorceress stole my cows," and then it's like, and you're like, "We'll save them," and then you go out into the field, and then you do some battles, and then.
But like, what do you like? What am I pressing X? Am I running around? Like, I don't know.
You are pressing X and running around. Yes, it's like action based.
Cooldown timers.
Some cooldown timers. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like a Diablo or not like a Diablo?
Different than Diablo, I would say, but not. I mean, it's definitely not like hordes of enemies like Diablo, right? John got the version of the game with the Fable audio. That's pretty much true. No, really, it's more like they have these blood crystals growing in a cave outside our town, and then
maybe I don't like Dragon Age,
and then you're like, "Let's go, Eggman!" And then you and the Eggman go and get the blood crystals and break them and stuff like that.
Okay,
it's kind of like that.
That comes out this year.
The new one?
Yes. Or did they push it?
I think they pushed it. There's no way it's this year, right? Dragon Age Vanguard release.
Nope, it's called Dragon's Hole now or something, right?
Oh, Veilguard. No, it's Veilguard.
What did it used to be called?
Dreadwolf.
Yes.
No, it says fall. Wow.
Sure. Okay.
Definitely not, huh?
No, not in a million years.
Definitely not.
No way.
Let's take votes. Let's take bets in the chat right now.
It's August 8th, and they don't have a date for that game.
That game is 100%.
That is March, baby. That is the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
That is February 20. Is it a leap year next year?
Honestly, the ill omen that it was revealed mostly in a Game Informer cover that has now been taken offline.
Yes,
is probably enough to tell me okay. It's probably not coming out.
Getting pushed, huh?
It's getting pushed.
You got to. I can't imagine. You got to redo that whole PR cycle. That's
Games
crazy.
Releases 2024. Let's look at the rest of the year real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Because did you watch that new Zelda trailer with the bonding and the binding?
Yeah,
that was
it
kind of
looks
cool.
great. I'm excited. I feel like that game is going to be like Link Between Worlds, which is.
Did you like that game?
I love that game.
Okay,
I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about what's this one called? Zelda's
Echoes
Home?
of Wisdom.
Okay, so Zelda's Home.
Zelda's Home. Yeah, that's right.
I'm amped about it. That game. Here are the games I'm excited about this year.
Black Myth Wukong.
Nope.
Wild West Dynasty.
I don't know what that is.
Concord.
Nope.
Squirrel with a Gun.
Well, maybe intriguing. Tell me more. Tell me more of Squirrel with a Gun.
Epic Mickey Rebrushed.
No.
Transformers Galactic Trials.
Okay. No.
Monster High Skulltimate Secrets.
No.
And Slitterhead.
No. Okay, so Indiana Jones.
Okay. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing you're excited about is Indiana Jones.
Zelda.
Okay, Zelda.
I have to also look at the list.
I'm
Star Wars Outlaws, that comes out in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yep.
Mario Luigi Brothership.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. I know you're chomping at the bit for that
Astrobot.
one. Astrobot for sure.
Zelda.
Mm-hmm. You already said that. What about Funko Fusion? And that's a serious question.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah,
I was about to say.
If someone slides in my email with a code for Funko Fusion.
Oh, they will. They absolutely will.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking code and I'm playing it.
Okay.
That's it, actually, I think. I can't tell if I'm actually excited about Sonic and Shadow Generations or if I'm still thinking about how good those OLED TVs looked in that.
They did
tent.
look good in that tent. those were good TVs. Those are good TVs. Yeah,
like,
yeah. The SGF Sega tent. Yeah, those TVs were fucking nice.
Yeah, I can't
They're
tell
really nice.
which one of those is the
yeah.
right.
I almost looked at them and I was like, y'all brought these out for this? For Sonic and Knuckles. You know Knuckles is running at like a 5 frame rate, right? But these TVs look fire. Like
UFO 50 is this year.
UFO 50 is this year. I am here are games that I am curious about checking out, not necessarily excited about. I'm curious about Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm curious about an Assassin's Creed game for the first time in a long time.
Why are you saying this stuff for?
I'm a little bit curious about it.
You're not.
I'm curious about it.
You aren't. Who are you lying to? For what purpose are you out here on
to
TV?
Eve Gilmour to send me a code
for Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game that no one will think about. It's going to sell 1,000,003 copies,
and no one will think about it. They are the masters of those games. So
yes,
this sold so well, and literally no one thinks.
No one thinks about it.
Yep.
Okay, so Assassin's Creed.
A Soccer 2 that comes out at the end of November. I actually think that's going to get delayed again. I feel so bad for that team, but like they cannot get this fucking game out the door.
Wait, Soccer 2?
Stalker 2.
Stalker.
This is the game from the Ukrainian team.
Yeah,
which is I think it's getting delayed again. I hope not, but yeah, they've had a really tough time getting that out of the door. Let's see, what else am I interested in? I'm a little bit interested in Visions of Mana. That's the Square Enix joint that comes out at the end of this month. I'm interested in something called Zoocosis, which is just something that I've hearing about the first time today. It looks like it involves a zoo gone wrong.
Finally.
A lot of body horror with mutant giraffes.
I won't Google it. Awesome.
Yeah, so that looks scary. Never heard of it.
Body cam horror simulation game is one of the quickest ways to get me to close the tab.
I don't know what, like, I think if you listen, of course there are probably exceptions to every rule, But if you are a developer that's like, you know what I think we should do is we should make this video game look like the grainy body cam footage of an extrajudicial murder
Yeah,
that you see.
you're crazy.
I'm kind of like, you
Go
got
Relax.
some bad ideas.
Go play Mario Party.
Yeah. Yeah, you got some bad ideas.
Speaking of Mario Party Jamboree, October 17th.
No fucking way.
Yes, 50 turns, you and me, John. 50
No
turns,
fucking way.
Mario
No
Jamboree.
fucking way. No fucking way.
All, yes.
Well, GameSpot does not have the Dragon Quest 3 HD remake on their list of their shit.
Yeah.
But it is out on November 14th, which I am excited about.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited about that. And that trailer is loud in my ears.
Oh.
And yeah, that's about it, huh?
Light end of the year, I think. It was crazy. The
Very
beginning of this
light
year was
end of the year.
crazy. And I think the beginning of next year will also be intense, but I think the end of this year is going to be pretty light.
Very light end of the year. Hey, have you kept up with college football?
Nah,
25?
dropped it like a fucking stone.
Okay, I'll have a bigger review up on the site soon with a deeper dive on a bonus podcast. But yeah, I think my final thoughts on this game is pretty mid. That engine sucks. Like that engine really, really stinks. You start to see the cracks in it pretty quickly. There are just things that like the AI of linebackers looking like staring down a quarterback that is breaking the pocket to run for 20 yards.
Yes.
And the linebacker just literally is just planted
Yeah.
there going like, I guess I'll let you do this, is like crazy to look at in 2024 when football games that are 20 years old have figured this out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really bad. I feel like the recruiting engine is it's exactly the same really as it was 11 years ago. And when this game came out, I think I was pretty happy that things were mostly the same. And now after spending a few weeks with it, I'm like, I'm not really seeing a reason to play this instead of
for sure 14.
Instead of the older game. Some of the problem with that is that I got really attached to not giving a shit about who the real players were.
Yeah.
And now it's like, because everything is NIL, there are limitations on what you can do with those players. You can't edit them. You can't do anything with them like a normal sports game. So there's this kind of weird ceiling on kind of where
you kind of have to
things can
churn
go.
all of the NIL guys out of your program before you can do anything fun with them.
Yep. Which I think is pretty strange. And yeah, I think this game is very odd. I think it's a very odd game. I know it's going to be very popular. It is like dominating a lot of the TikTok sphere that I see. Like a lot of people are still playing this game. But I will say the vast majority of people I see who are playing this game are doing compilations of the engine completely falling apart on them.
Yes.
And also just like plays that should not happen. Quarterbacks that are basically on their back on the way down and they throw a perfect spiral pass like 40 yards down the field.
I watched one yesterday where a guy completed a 20-yard pass downfield and then the game called it an interception in the end zone to the defense on a guy that was like laying down. So like you watch the ball leave his hands, get caught by the guy, and then he goes down, and then the game says touchdown off of a pick six.
Yep.
And it was like, oh.
Yeah. I cannot explain to people enough that these are solved issues.
Yeah, it is not hard to make a football video game.
These things did not happen 20 years ago. So it's very weird to see it just continue to happen in every single sports game that comes out. Kofi shared a video of someone scoring 2 touchdowns on one play, which that's a new one.
Wait,
like
really?
That's a new one.
Oh, that's fun.
So
I
like
love new ways to invent rules.
So someone scored and it scored 12 points.
Fuck yes.
Which
that's good. That's tasty.
Not real.
This isn't related at all, but John, can you go to Le Batard's Twitter account? Because there's some breaking news.
Dan Le Batard.
Le Bastard.
Twitter. Dan, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? Okay. Yes, breaking news. What am I looking at? Oh, new version of Round Ball Rock from John Tesh. Now, folks, I don't think I can pipe this into the show because I think it'll be a problem for the YouTube. But wow, is this real?
John, look at my face.
What? Why are you sad? Because I can't play it on air? Fine. All right, folks. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do our sign off now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then you're gonna cut it off.
And then I'm basically going to like put this at the end of it.
That's smart.
And then that'll be it.
That's
Nikki,
really smart.
Do you have anything to plug?
Nah.
Nothing to plug in your life.
Listen to the podcast. If you're driving, close your eyes. We're taking this week off. We'll be back next week.
We're taking this week off. And we may start recording. Sounds like as soon as next week, if you are a fan of If You're Driving, Close Your Eyes, the schedule for us is going to be different. We're going to be recording on Friday afternoons and posting the episodes on Monday morning. So that'll be a shift. We'll probably announce something in the Discord. I don't know. We should just do that now.
I'll do it right now.
But yeah, that'll be a new change. Many of us are building jobs on top of the jobs we have. So Wednesday afternoon is getting harder for us to commit to. So Friday afternoon will be. And yes, we are taking this week off, which has been actually kind of nice to take a break every once in a while. But yeah. All right. So go listen to that. And let's get out of here. Round Ball Rock. Folks, if you want to go to vgbs.com/join, you can join in the Hive right now and ask us wonderful, beautiful questions. I think we asked 100% of those questions today. They were fun. What's up, Nikki?
Wow, the U.S. is down 13 to Serbia right now.
The men's team?
Yes.
No way.
It's 50-37.
Whoa. Well, I got to go check that out.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's really interesting.
Get us out of here, John.
Get us out of here. All right. We'll see you next week, folks, for a new episode of the VGB's podcast. Until then, keep on buzzing.